there are a lot of people that play saxophone, and there are less women. But to me, it's not an oddity, because I think, like you said, anything that you gravitate to and you feel like that's your spirit, then that's what you should do. But how do you, I guess, react with grace? I'm sure you do, to people who say something like that, who kind of want to down your abilities because you're a woman.
It's interesting. I wrote a song called Pretty Good for a Girl, just kind of poking fun at that whole, I think people really mean well, and they'll come up after a show and shake my hand and just look at me and say, wow, I mean, you're really good for a girl.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Making It. My name is Kenan Cooley, and I am with
Alvin Chia. Hey, Kenan.
Hey there, sir. How are you?
I'm thawing out. We've been wet for weeks here in California, but I'm dry. It's sunny. Feeling good.
You getting webs on your feet?
Yeah, I mean, we've been swimming. We have through the palm trees in my backyard. I can see the snow-capped mountains. It is wild and woolly here in California.
Yeah, I love California. I'm not gonna lie. I miss California.
We had a good time with you out here. You were out here visiting. We had a good time.
I did, and I enjoyed it immensely, and I miss it immensely, honestly. And honestly, I'm jealous of you and our next guest, though, because she's from California as well.
She is. It's all the fun out here. You got to come out. You got to come out.
I think I will. But not only is she amazing because she's from California, but also because she's an amazing woman who plays the saxophone.
Yes.
Which, not rare, but it is more rare than, say, men. But she's actually very good at her craft, and she's been doing it for years. She's been traveling the world just like you guys, and she has a lot of stories I'm sure she would like to share with us.
Can't wait to talk to her. Miss Mindi Abair. Here she is.
Got you guys. Hey.
Welcome, Mindi. Welcome.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just,
good.
A chill day at home. It's a nice thing.
Speaking of home, so I know you're now in Northern California. Are you originally from Southern California?
I've lived a long time in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And, I married my husband. We've been together 11 years. And,
Congrats.
Thank you. And, he's a wine guy. So he lived up here before we met, and it was just, a place that he always wanted to be. So now we have a teeny tiny little house up here in Sonoma and our teeny little house in Hollywood, and it's pretty perfect. We're not home very much, so we can have the best of both worlds.
Good for you both. Good for you both. In fact,
where are you?
Go ahead. Ken.
Oh, no, I said, where are you originally from?
Born and raised St. Petersburg, Florida.
Oh, okay, nice. So you're from the East Coast, where I'm from.
Yeah, a little beach town. Nothing happens there. What a great place to grow up. It was just super chill. Go to the beach all the time, play some music, and it was amazing. Yeah.
One thing I know about you, Mindi, we were at sea for 2 weeks together there. You're gonna be dressed to the nines. You're gonna be on time, and you're gonna bring the soulful funk most from your soul when you bring it. And that's what I absolutely love about your artistry. Where did all of that come from? Being out there where nothing ever happens.
I love that. Thank you for saying that. That's so nice. Well, we were all there pretty early for everything.
Yeah.
You have that gene too that you don't want to be late, right?
No, I can't do it.
I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
But I grew up on the road with my dad's band. My dad had a band called the Fabulous Entertainers, and they just played in clubs and went all around the US playing. I mean, we had no home until I was 5. It was just a band staying in hotels and playing places, And it was a pretty odd way to grow up, but it was really cool. I just got to be raised by the guys in the band. They were all incredible musicians, all incredible performers. They were into it. They cared. They dressed up. They put on a show. It was all about, what will the audience love, and what can we do to make this show the best. My grandmother was an opera singer, so she was constantly, she was that stereotypical, large woman, large personality. So I had, musicians around me always.
In your DNA.
That were striving for excellence, that believed in doing the right thing and being there and being responsible and striving to be great. So that's what I did. And I think that's the way to be, I see people coming up the ranks now that are just like, it'll all happen. I don't know. For me, it wouldn't have happened unless I,
Yeah.
So what made you pick up the saxophone, or is there anything in particular for that?
Yeah, you know what? I was watching my dad. My dad played saxophone and B3 organ.
Oh, wow.
And of course, every night I'm watching my dad. He had a blast. He whipped out that saxophone. He was the guy, shimmying, shaking, walking the bar. That was him, so when it came time in school, it was fourth grade band for me. I was so lucky to have school band. When it came that time, my band instructor, Ann Reynolds, she laid out all the band instruments and she just said, walk around.
Yeah.
See what you like, pick it up, and we'll learn how to play them. And I walked around, I looked at everything, but I'm gonna say my dad looked like he was having such a good time playing that sax. And I just gravitated towards it and picked that one up and never looked back. And
so you weren't, so in my mind, when you're describing, I was like, okay, well, maybe she was in the green room with Barbies. No, you were out in the crowd in the wings watching it, like, great riff. I love that.
Yeah, I was watching, totally. Yeah, the Barbies might have been there. But I mean, they were watching the band too.
Right.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And the fact that you remembered your fourth grade band teacher's name lets me know that you were clued in quickly.
Do you remember your first band teacher's name?
I do.
I do not.
She was awesome.
See, I think, these things are so formative, and, it's not like she was a part of, me becoming, a recording artist or anything like that once I got later in life. But those, really early days of learning music and being in a situation where you're with a band, lots of people say now, why would you ever play a saxophone? That's such an odd instrument for a girl. And you know what? Ann Reynolds, my first band teacher, never said that.
I love that.
You can play anything. You can be anything you want to be. And everyone around me, I grew up in a very hippie environment. It was just peace and love, no matter what you look like, no matter, where you come from. If you become excellent at something, that's it. You can do anything. And I loved that. And so, it was way too late by the time someone said, it's really
you're not supposed to be doing that.
Saxophone.
And I was going to pick up on that. I'm glad you said that about being a woman, because there are a lot of people that play saxophone and there are less women, but to me, it's not an oddity, because I think, like you said, anything that you gravitate to and you feel like that's your spirit, then that's what you should do. But how do you, I guess, react with grace? I'm sure you do, to people who say something like that, who kind of want to down your abilities because you're a woman.
It's interesting. I wrote a song called Pretty Good for a Girl, just kind of poking fun at that whole, I think people really mean well, and they'll come up after a show and shake my hand and just look at me and say, wow, I mean, you're really good for a girl. And I don't think people expect the same thing from a woman as they expect from a man. Those ideas of what we expect from a woman or someone gay or straight or black or white.
Right.
I think they're changing and morphing at a really high level right now. That ceiling is breaking. But just to use an example, I played for Jonathan Butler early on in my career before I had a solo career. And I'd come out, he would come out first, and then I would come out in the middle of the first song and play and then finish it with him and then stay on the rest of the concert. My parents were in the audience. And as I walked on stage for that first song, this woman stood up And she goes, what is that skinny little white bee doing on that stage?
Really? Oh my.
Now my mom is sitting right next to her and she's just like, oh no, you know, this is going to be awkward. This is my daughter.
Wow.
But by the end of that song, the same woman got up and screamed again. And she was like, you go, you skinny little white, you can play. So I say that to say that, you know, we all have the chance to change people's conception or misconception of who we are and what we're capable of, what we're supposed to sound like as women, what we're supposed to play like as women. And I love that. And I say, bring it on. I want to be that person who every night I can change someone's minds about what they expect.
Years ago, I saw James Brown in concert. It was like one of his last shows. And I wanted to say, and something told me, go see James Brown, go see James Brown. He got up there, of course, he did all his stuff. But what was the most amazing to me as a performer was to see his skills as a band leader. Band was tight. Dun, 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 dun. And then, I got a new battery. With seamless. That's what most impresses me about you. You got chops for days. You can play your butt off, your skinny white butt off. But you as a band leader is like, whoa. I mean, you got to know your stuff because you got to get the respect of the cats that you have them play with you. And forget the audience. You got to win these guys before you get to them. That's what's most impressive about you, Mindi. It's amazing to watch you do your thing.
Thank you. What a beautiful compliment. I don't think many people think about band leader versus musician or artist. You know, I know you do because, you know, it's like you guys run your ship very tightly. I appreciate that so much. But as a band leader, I like to surround myself with people who are better than me. I like to surround myself with greatness. Like I come from that Miles Davis or Joni Mitchell sensibility that if you surround yourself with people who are great artists in and of themselves and have a great voice, then we're all going to look better. The music's just going to go to this other level. I know some artists think, you know, oh, don't have people that are, you know, going to be shiny and amazing in your band because
you got to be secure to do that.
They're going to make you look better. So for me to bring people into my fold as a band leader and create this home for them that they know who I am. You know, you have to know who you are as an artist. You have to know what you stand for. You know, I'm going to sing women's songs. I'm going to sing songs about loving each other. I know who I am and I know what you need to be in my band. So as long as you give people a framework and then let them be them, it's great. But yeah, you have to know where you're coming from and what you want from them. I think those are all great things for up and coming band leaders to think about long and hard before you ever make one call for a band member.
Absolutely.
Well, do you find as a leader that you have to, I guess, not only manage the music, but you have to manage the people, you know, in terms of their different personalities, how they want to handle things, maybe as you're going along?
I think our whole business is personalities, you know? I mean, we as musicians, we as performers, we all have egos, we all have feelings, we're all sensitive, we're artists, you know? And I always take the human being factor first, you know, I want the guys to do what's right for them and their families and their personal lives before anything that comes musically and everything. But yeah, I mean, I look at my band as you know, it's a business, but we've known each other so long that we're just a part of the fabric of each other's lives so much that, I treat the guys in my band very, very differently just because we're all such a tight unit and take them in consideration hugely, you know.
How did you know it was time? Because it sounds like you were under Jonathan Butler, JB's wings, so to speak. How did you know it was time for Mindi Abair?
Well, you just sing all day. Love hearing your voice. You know, I toured with a lot of people on the way up. And, you know, people say that it's not the destination, it's the journey.
Yeah.
And I never really, you know, I never really took that to heart until I looked back a little bit.
Yeah.
But I didn't become a solo artist immediately. I wanted to become that. When I got out of college, I just wanted nothing more than to write my own songs, be a recording artist. I got turned down by every label multiple times. Wow. You know, it was either we have too many sax players, or you sing and you play sax and
make up your mind. And
yeah, you have to choose one because we don't know how to market that.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a myriad of things that equated to no. And so to make a living, you know, I wasn't independently wealthy and no one in my family was. To make a living, I toured with other people and I started getting hired. Bobby Lyle hired me off the street. I was literally playing on 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, just out, you know, just playing. Because I just figured I came to Los Angeles to do what I came here to do, and that was to make music and play and sing. And so even if I was standing on the street, okay, I'm playing music, I'm doing it.
That's awesome.
Sure enough, you know, I toured with Bobby Lyle for 5 or 6 years. He's like a father figure to me. His whole band, it was just incredible musicians. Al McKay from Earth, Wind and Fire.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, Minyango Jackson. It was just crazy. These guys showed me the way. They showed me the ropes. And then Tina Marie and Jonathan Butler, you know, the Backstreet Boys. It was all kind of, you know, I learned so much from each person. And I have to say, playing with Jonathan, he let me be me. And that was just a beautiful thing. He really encouraged that. So when someone came up from Verve Records, Bud Harner, who's now my manager, he was working for Verve Records, and he said, wow, I'd like to talk to you about doing a solo record on Verve. And I was just, oh my gosh, that's amazing. It just came out of the blue. It wasn't like I was looking for it.
You just kept working. You kept working.
Kept working. And it was just such a relief. And I had to go back on tour. I was with the Backstreet Boys at that time playing in their band. And I said to him, I mean, could I send you music after I get off this next leg of the tour? And Bud said, sure. So that whole last leg of the tour, I was thinking, oh, wow, I could do this. This could be my next chapter. This is finally, it was meant to be. But I think that all those artists, Jonathan Butler, Bobby Lyle, the Backstreet Boys, Tina Marie, Duran Duran, all those people that I toured with, they really helped me find me. And I think there's a special, you know, that journey that they talk about. Maybe I didn't know what I had to say as an artist. Maybe I didn't know how I fit into different people's scenarios, and that kind of equated to who I was. So it was a real gift to be able to be in those situations and then get the possibility. So did I know it was the right time? No, I just kind of lived my life and it happened.
Leap and the net will appear.
Right.
Yes.
Well, you know, you kind of alluded to the fact that you kind of developed just by fiat, so to speak. What would you tell someone who asked you how they should? I mean, everybody's path is not the same, but do you feel like that, you know, you just kind of keep flowing, or do you think that there's certain steps that you still were prepared for? Like, I mean, I think a lot of people are, when you're prepared, when the opportunity comes, you're ready, you know. Is there anything that you think you did in particular to be ready?
You know, there's no rule book. We all know that. But I really feel like if you go after what you love, and if you just keep doing it and keep becoming one with your instrument. I mean, you are one with your instrument, but I play a saxophone, and it's like to just be in it, to be creating music, to be out there meeting people, to be playing in bands, to be hiring bands, to be just in it. That really helps to get you where you want to go.
Right.
And look, I didn't know anything. I mean, I moved to LA. I didn't know one person. I didn't know the scene. Everyone had a sax player who was amazing already. They didn't need me, and I went to jam sessions and people would be like, you want to sit in? You look like a cheerleader. What? But if you just keep doing what you love and keep working towards what you want, no matter if you're going right or left. I took left turns and right turns and, but I was always going after just playing and making music and playing with people I thought were super cool.
Love it. Okay.
That's my 2 cents for how to get there. It may not be like
straightforward,
but
it's true. Yeah. Your path is your path.
Right?
Yeah.
Your path is your path. Okay. Yeah. So I alluded to something earlier. I was like, I'm going to make sure I can ask you certain things that won't be off limits. But I saw something in your bio that I got to touch on, and why you're in Northern California.
Okay.
Your husband you also have him tagged as your wine partner.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. Tell me about how this musician, who is a band leader, ends up being in wine country with a wine partner and husband. How does that all come together? Nice.
Okay, so I had the very good fortune to be set up on a blind date by David Oz. Okay, so many years ago, he set me up on a date with the guy who was making his wine. And that is my now husband, Eric. So as I said, I got older and wiser, and I married a wine guy. I've played a lot of music and it's amazing. What could make that better?
Yeah.
I don't know, pairing it with a guy who has endless amounts of wine around him and good wine.
You are the definition of leap and the net will appear. I love that.
So, we got married and about 3.5 years ago, we started our own business because we thought, we could whiteboard our lives. People do this. And we already had dream jobs. I get to travel the world and make music and record and all of it. He got to go off to these incredible wineries. I mean, he's run wineries like Mum Napa, Jackson, Perry Jouet, Gary Farrell, just these beautiful, beautiful wineries. So we each had these amazing jobs, but we wanted to be together more. We wanted to share. I remember him saying he wanted to sell wine to people, not corporations. He was kind of like up in the tower, he didn't get to see the everyman. He's like, I want to share my passion for this wine and make it a personal thing. We love to travel. So we came up with wineandjazz.com. And now we've had our own wine club for almost 4 years, where we put out 8 new wines a year that are all music centric, that are wines we have made for us from our winemaker friends. And we take people around the world. Like in 2 weeks, we've got 40 people coming in for Mindi Abair's wine and jazz adventure in Sonoma, and curate a week of awesomeness, food and music and wine and experiences. We do the same thing in Bordeaux this fall. We're doing it in Tuscany next fall.
Nice.
So it really allowed us to live the life that we envisioned for ourselves. We get to be together. I get to, do a little wine tasting in front of all my shows now, which is awesome. And I get to have him with me on the road, which is great. We get to be together and do what we love and not have to be, you know, I don't have to be a wine expert. I've got him. And
well, you know,
play an instrument. He's got me.
It's funny you said that too, because what Alvin and I often talk about the fact that entertainers really do sacrifice a large part of their life to entertain and share for their gift with other people. I mean, especially being on the road. I mean, because that's arduous. So it's kind of nice that you can have that balance. And I kind of applaud both of you that you're willing to kind of, I guess, compromise. I won't say compromise, but willing to put both your gifts together, because the most important thing was being together.
Yeah. Mindi is passion upon passion meets passion, making passion.
Well, the guys in my band just looked at him and went, well, how do you like the road? He's like, glamorous as you thought. And, you know, Eric's like beaten down after some, 12-hour flight. He's like, whew, okay.
No joke.
Yeah.
It's no joke. Actually, when I first got married, we were going to Japan, and, my wife, Adria, was wanting to come, and I was like, she doesn't understand. I'm going to send her to Japan and coach, just to teach her a lesson that is not all glitz and glamour.
What in the world?
I was bad for that one. Adria landed in Tokyo, had probably like a 2-hour nap, and then she was like, whoa, let's go. I was like,
good for her.
She turned the place upside down.
Yeah. I mean, there are certain personality types that really are made for the road. I love being on the road. I love exploring new places. I love going back to the restaurants. I'm very food driven. I love going back to the restaurants that I go to every time, and find new things. And I love traveling. I love being out there. I love seeing people. It was so hard a couple of years ago, having that taken away for a myriad of reasons.
It was tough.
But the adventure of it, it's just fun.
Is your dad still with us?
He is. Yeah.
He must be so proud of you.
Oh, you know what? My mom and dad are absolutely my biggest fans. They're still together. They've been married 56 years.
Oh, wow.
And they're just madly in love. And they're, they're just doing their thing. They are absolutely my biggest fans. They come and they watch. I kind of see them in the audience, and they're like, they're just going through every motion, like living it through with me. Which is
that's
really hard to watch, but I think they're having a good time.
That is awesome.
Well, you were talking about travel.
I'm sorry, Kenny, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying, you were talking about your travel and experience. Is there any kind of a story that you'd like to share, or something that was really important that you really, I won't say life-changing, career memorable for you?
I mean, that's an interesting question. I mean, life-changing career stuff. I mean, I look towards, playing with certain people. I remember getting a call, and now this was probably 10 years ago. Wow. Clarence Clemens had passed away. And Clarence, if people don't know, was Bruce Springsteen's bigger than life saxophone player.
Wow.
And, some things you dream about doing, and sometimes some things you don't dream about doing. I don't think I ever thought the big man, Clarence Clemens, would ever pass away. He just was this presence, but I got a call from Max Weinberg, Bruce's drummer, and he said, we need someone to fill in for Clarence at the Beacon Theater in New York. And I know, all the songs, and, he knew I was a total fan. And I just was like, what an amazing opportunity to play with someone that I just thought, walked on water, and to fill someone's shoes, big shoes, figuratively and literally, in the process. So that was a beautiful night.
Was he tenor sax? Was he a tenor sax player or alto?
Tenor. I grabbed the tenor and left.
Okay. I hear
you never see me play tenor.
I would never seen that.
I know. With the rockers, I'm usually tenor. I toured with Aerosmith. It was tenor.
Wow.
Any of the rockers, I usually bring the tenor out. Yeah. But
amazing.
What a beautiful night. I was like a blur to the plane.
Yeah.
I was like calling for an airplane as I was driving to the airport. But that was a beautiful experience that'll last me a lifetime. That was kind of career changing in a way, in my mind.
Validation that you've reached that level. Like when we need that top A person to step in here on demand, who we gonna call? Mindi. She can got it. She'll look great and she'll be here on time and she's gonna play her butt off.
You just turn that all the way back around to where we started.
That's right. Bring it all back.
You're good.
Love it. What's new? What's next for you?
You know, I'm just kind of getting ready. I mean, we just moved here to Healdsburg, and so I'm kind of splitting my time between getting stuff for the house done, and then getting ready for touring. For the next couple months, we are just solid. We're doing the Dave Koz cruise over
I saw that. Wow.
Yeah. So that'll be pretty much a month in Europe.
Yeah.
And then I've got people coming here to do my wine and jazz adventure here in Sonoma. So I got musicians coming in. I got Ellis Hall coming in, Vincent Ingala.
Love Ellis.
Ellis is, he's like a father to me. I started playing in his band when I was 23. So, he's just beautiful. So yeah, all that's going to keep us pretty busy and on the road. And then we're going back to Europe for my wine and jazz adventure in Bordeaux, which is going to be awesome. So yeah, it's a year of touring, and it's a year of, I'm just starting to put together some songs. My last record came out last year, Mindi Abair, Forever. And you got to say it, Forever. Mindi Abair, Forever. That's right. The chant. But it's time, I think. I'm starting to get songs. I guess there are seasons for me for, touring or writing or thinking, it's time for a new record. And I'm feeling that. So we'll probably be in the studio in the summer and fall and come up with something. It'll take shape about then. And then I'm going off for a Christmas tour with Peter White and Vincent Ingala.
I saw that. I saw that. Along with Blue Note. The Blue Note's coming up, I think, for you. Napa.
Oh yeah, that's this week.
Yeah, literally. Like tomorrow, the day after.
I do that Saturday, Friday and Saturday right before Easter. So that should be cool. We're doing little wine tastings with our wine. And then the shows. I love being there. It's such a cool vibe, the Blue Note.
So I have a question. What would you pair? What wine would you pair with your favorite song?
Ooh,
okay, so that's actually how we built our company. Like each wine we create is music centric. And as my husband Eric thinks of everything in geeky wine terms and how it smells and tastes and all that, I think of things in music terms. So we make a playlist for each one of our wines. So here's some of them. Like, see the Viva La Rock? The roll guy, that's one of our wine labels. Like I did a whole playlist. It's a Cabernet, and this really big Cabernet. So I did a playlist of, AC/DC, Rolling Stones, Aerosmith, Springsteen, The Clash, as this is Treble Clef, Chardonnay. And I paired that with jazz. I put smooth jazz. So it's, Rick Braun and Dave Koz and Richard Elliott, myself, Peter White, so I kind of look at wine styles and get inspired, like the bigness of Cabernet, kind of, it was that, kind of abandon of rock and roll. Whereas we've got a Pinot Noir, where is our Pinot? I don't even know. The Pinot. I don't even know where it is, but there's a bunch of our wine things. I'm like, But I paired it with soul music because it was earthy, but it was elegant, so it was, so that's what we do. I kind of DJ when he brings in a bottle of wine.
That's funny.
I'm like, ooh, it's Pinot tonight. Okay. We're going, Sam Cooke.
Here's something interesting. Ellis, if you ever talk to Ellis, he always just talks about colors. We're going to do some colors, colors. He's, I think it's called synthesis or synthesis or something like that. One where you hear chords and music and see colors. And Ellis happens to be blind.
Oh, wow.
You with this music and wine is a whole nother phenomenon they got to come up with a name for. So to hear you guys do your thing is going to be really interesting.
It's fun because, again, I'm thinking of the wine in music terms, and it's like this beautiful, bright Chardonnay. I'm thinking jazz. Yeah. So it's fun for me because I get to kind of put my DJ hat on and have fun. So now, every wine we have has a Spotify playlist with, probably 2 bottles worth of listening.
I love it. I love it. What are your socials, Mindi?
Yeah, we're
at Mindi Abair at Instagram and Facebook, Mindi Abair. And YouTube is youtube.com/official Mindi Abair. And you can always go to my website, mindyabair.com. But we all,
and of course we see wineandjazz.com right now. So
oh yeah, and wineandjazz.com.
don't forget that. Yeah.
For all the wine stuff. Definitely. I love that that's a part of my life now. It's like, okay.
I think it's the best of both worlds, music and wine. What else can you do?
I know, it's great. We'll do the tastings before our concerts now. And I'm like, this can't hurt. Get people a little, loosened up for the show. With
your wine.
With my wine. Yeah. It's a good thing.
So glad that you gave us some time today, Mindi. You're a busy businesswoman, and you're killing the game. We're proud of you, and we want so much more success for you. Thank you for spending some time with us and bringing us into your world.
Yes, for sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for what you guys do, to have a show based on, what your journey is and how you think about things. I think it's really important for people, and just to have that insight into how people think or what worked for them or what didn't, and I just think that's beautiful. So what a beautiful purpose for this. It's always cool to hang out with you. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, we hope that your words inspire so many to do what you've done, and from now until the end of your career.
We all want to just make it. Making it.
We all just want
make it, baby. Let's make it. And drink some wine and play some music and sing.
Sounds good to me. I'll be there in 2 minutes.
Thank you so much, Mindi. Be blessed. Give hugs and kisses to Eric.
I will. Thank you.
All right.